Assuming you had a non-Florida upbringing, do you remember standing outside as a kid in the cold, waiting for the bus to arrive, only to get on board and wonder how it could be even colder inside than it was out? Welcome to Bus Life. These things are basically just huge metal heat sinks which drain all of the life-giving warmth that kind of keeps you alive. Do you need to pee in the middle of the night? Do you want me to tell you which part of your body is going to freeze off first because of cold hands? Hi, I'm Rick, and welcome back to the journey. So yeah, we live in a bus. Now, normally this time of year, we would be driving this cozy little home somewhere down south in warmer climes, but no, we're visiting family. And unfortunately, when you're visiting family, you have to go where they are. And in my case, that's Mechanicsville, Virginia. And yeah, the place is pretty much exactly the way you pictured it when I said its name. I love Mechanicsville. I mean, they have a windmill, for God's sake. And they got a Tractor Supply. Oh, and you see that restaurant right there? It's called Anna's, and they have authentic Italian food. And when you go in to order your chicken parm, they'll ask you if you want white country gravy put on it. And I am not kidding about that. Okay, just in case you're new around here, or maybe you're a chismoso and you want to look inside the medicine cabinet, let me give you a little tour around. This is it. Yeah, it's pretty much the entire tour when you live in a small place. No, I actually do want to show you around. This is the kitchen. This is where we live. What are we making, baby?
Chicken biryani.
Chicken biryani. Is it going to be hot and spicy and keep us warm?
Yes, that'll be.
So this is a video about the cold bus life. Now, we do have insulation in the walls and in the ceiling, a good solid 3 inches of rock wool. Unfortunately, the windows, they came from the manufacturer just the way they are. Single pane, leaky little. They let in a whole lot of cold. And as you can see, we have quite a few of them. Now, we could just turn the stove on inside the kitchen and keep ourselves warm, but we tend to use electricity for that, and it doesn't keep you that warm. We do have something outside, but I'll have to show you that a little bit later. So basically, the short version of this video is that living in a school bus in anything short of, well, Florida weather, it's pretty damn cold. I mean, Nikki's waking up every single morning with a headache because it's pretty damn cold in here. We do have a diesel heater. I'll have to show you that a little bit later as well. It doesn't work exactly the way you think it works. Okay, so why am I here instead of being out in warmer climes? Well, I'm visiting my daughter and her family, and they live out here literally in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's a 20-minute ride down this lonely little country road just to get to the main road, which will take you another 20 minutes just to get to thriving downtown Mechanicsville. So for better or worse, we're in Mechanicsville, and honestly, there's not a whole lot to do around here, which completely conflicts with my lifestyle. But there is one thing they have here that you don't have anywhere else, and it kind of makes it all worthwhile. These guys. Okay, so how do we survive? It was 32 degrees last night. That's Fahrenheit for my metric friends, you know, everybody else in the rest of the world. It was cold, and the way we primarily keep warm is we have a diesel heater. Let me show you. This is one of those $179 Chinese diesel heaters. We didn't really know. I can't bend over too much. I'm going to go back and talk to you over there. So it is both good and bad. The good is it actually really will warm things up back there. We have it tucked under a chair, which is kind of how I hop up onto the tall bed. Seemed like a good place to put it at the time. It will keep you a little bit warm back there, not so much up here in the front of the bus, but it doesn't work like a house heater. You don't set it at 72 and off you go. It has 5 settings, and it's all fan speed. It's the same heat, just depends on how much air you push, and we use it on 1 most of the time, and you can't run it all night. Well, A, it's a little stinky, and B, it will warm you up out of there. So we run it, and then we turn it off, and then wake up in the morning and you turn it on and you kind of shiver your way to the kitchen and make coffee and hope it catches up to you. Oh, I gotta show you this. Somebody got a Grogu hat last night just to keep warm. You do what you gotta do. So there are 1,000 review videos out there for the Chinese diesel heaters. I'm not going to do another one. They're cheap. They're basically replaceable. I think they're kind of easily worked on, but they do work fairly well. They're also a little bit on the loud side. It doesn't use as much diesel as you think it would. I bought a second one for my son-in-law to keep into his workshop garage. And it seems to work there pretty well. He's getting ready to put one in his boat. So it works. It doesn't work like you have in a house, but I guess if you drive to Florida and you don't turn it on, it would work best of all. Okay, hang on. We made a Marshall's run last night, so got to get that out of the way. You probably saw this stuff sitting behind me. This is, what's this called? Thinsulate? Called Thinsulate. Anyway, you buy this stuff by the roll, and we kind of have it spread out over the windows. Now, I got to show you in the back because it does get a little prettier. This is a project in process. Now, as you can see, this is kind of an unfinished one. It rolls down so you can open up the windows. When it's rolled up, it does keep the cold out. Somebody's giving me access to what their little project has been. Back here is the exact same thing, only Nikki has covered it in wonderfully colorful stuff. Now she's held it all up with magnets, and it does keep out some of the cold. Doesn't keep out all the cold. We have those on the windows. We are putting more on there. We are going to be covering more of them because the silver stuff isn't all that pretty. And it really helps to insulate, especially with on these nasty bus windows that I really don't want to replace. Now, smart clothing choices are also kind of key. You have to dress for winter inside. For instance, I own precisely 4 pair of socks. 2 of them have holes in it, so I'm probably going to have to replace that. But yeah, wearing a beanie inside like the person behind you is wearing, it's kind of required in the wintertime here. Okay, with apologies to all of you who are living up in the Upper Peninsula and openly mocking me right now. And by the way, what in the world possesses you to live up there? Anyway, I am from Virginia, the Mid-Atlantic. This is what it is like all fall, all winter. Just boring gray skies, and it's just kind of got this chilly cold that gets into your bones, and that's why I ran away to Florida. This is kind of the weather we don't want to live in, but it's also kind of the weather that you sometimes have to live in. So we're trying to figure out every way we can in that bus just to make it livable. Now, on the flip side, some of you are going, but what about the heat? Well, what about the heat? It's actually the exact same thing. What we can do to keep the cold out, we'll work pretty much on getting the heat out too. Now, I would kind of prefer that problem. I am definitely a warm weather human being. For now, this is what we got. Oh, and I kind of got to show you something else. Dreary winter weather also plays havoc with our ability to make electricity. We're getting a whopping 35 watts of solar right now, and besides the ones on the bus, we've got our arrays set out as well. So that's kind of a problem in the cold. You can't get enough electricity to actually run the things that'll keep you warm. The generator has been fired up just about every other day here. Another reason to get to where the sun stays out all the time. It is still raining outside. Obviously, I wanted to take you to my outdoor kitchen. That was going to be part of the whole miserable, wintertime. What do you do when you actually want to make something that requires more than a single burner? But I really don't feel like getting that wet for you. I apologize. So we're cooking indoor tonight. Going to make something kind of fun. We're going to make a shrimp and cheesy grits. And how I'm going to do it with electrical appliances and 1 propane burner, which, by the way, cooking indoors with a propane, you'll see it's sometimes problematic. Welcome to the kitchen, and here's 2 problems we've got. One is it's small as hell. I'm going to use the other camera to kind of show you what's going on. I have this cooktop right here. It kind of makes it so you can't get in and out anywhere. So once you're set in the kitchen, you're set in the kitchen. And the other thing is I am paranoid as you know what about gas leaks. So I have a gas detector. And I spend a lot of time every time I turn this on making sure I'm not going to blow anything up. So welcome to the Rick Higgins cooking channel. No, it's not a cooking channel, but this does have a lot to do with, living in a bus and being cold. Oh my God, that's nice and warm. You're going to find out pretty soon why propane inside of a bus is bad. We are recording, right? Yeah, we don't need that anymore. Like I said earlier, I am making shrimp and cheesy grits. I also have to apologize because A, I sourced everything from a Walmart, not exactly gourmet, and I kind of forgot to thaw the shrimps out, so hopefully they might be ready. Let's begin. How do you make real honest-to-God Walmart shrimp and grits? Well, it actually all starts with coffee. Actually, that is an utter and complete lie. It all starts with a vodka tonic because, frankly, it's been a long, cold day, and I kind of got to warm up. I think that's enough 100 proof, don't you? Oh, yeah, that's better. That is Much better. Let's get the grits started and then we'll do some cooking. Hold on just 1 minute. Realizing that this is not set up for a cooking channel, and you probably can't see half of what I am doing. The way I make shrimp and grits is actually pretty simple. The shrimp is just shrimp. It's seasoned with salt, pepper, a little cayenne pepper, and some Cajun seasoning. The grits are, well, instant grits. I just mix in a whole bunch of Havarti cheese along with it, a little bit of silk milk to give it a little malty, and that's really it. The key to everything is the tasso gravy. Now, unfortunately, I don't have tasso ham. I have, well, bone-in ham steak from Walmart because that's all that they had. But you mix a little bit of ham, a little bit of onion, a little bit of stock, and some coffee. And then, well, you got to start with a roux. You got to start with a roux. You mix it all up. It turns into this deep brown, luscious gravy that goes between the shrimp and the grits. And it's absolutely to die for. So that's what we're going to attempt in this little teeny kitchen that I really want to get the burner on so I can start getting warm, because if I turn the heater on back there, you'll never hear me. The fun part of this is every single time I have to turn the camera on, I have to slide by the flames, and that's actually not very helpful. Anyway, it is time to make... Oh, I used the wrong pot. I used the wrong pot. All right, well, we're going to use this one for double duty. How do you make a tasso gravy? Well, it all starts with a roux. And a roux is nothing but a whole lot of butter. Bunk, 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 bunk. And this is the boring part, because you have to stir the butter after you put some flour in it, and you stir it and you stir it and you keep stirring it, and finally after 20 minutes, well, it turns into roux. So I will spare you 20 minutes of that. Hi, Editing Rick here. I had a whole bunch of footage planned for you talking about the propane fiasco, and guess what? I didn't actually know how to use my GoPro camera. Anyway, in a short little form, basically when you use propane inside of a thing like this, it gets steamy. Propane equals moisture, so all of the windows were completely coated in water. And if you have a propane heater, well, that pretty much means everything's going to be wet, soggy, and rusty. That's why we have a diesel heater. Anyway, let's get back to, well, the excitement. And which is also why it's a little bit hard to film in here. Because, is that aim on the right plate? Yep, because it is steamy as hell in here. And yeah, it's so warm I'm actually going to have to take my jacket off. It's nice to be warm. It's not so nice to be moist and sweaty. How are we doing? Ooh, we're getting close. We are getting seriously close. Question of the day. What does it taste like? It needs something. That needs, you know what it needs? It needs wine, don't we all? Spanish wine from Galicia. So yeah, we're having quite the marriage of countries and cultures. And I'm gonna have to wait for this to simmer down again. It tasted okay, but it needed acidic. It really needed something to make it pop. Oh, I gotta get the camera and show you how this is going. So look at how luscious and brown that is. It needs to be thicker. It's because I just poured the wine in that it's, well, kind of runny right now. Oh, yeah, the smell. Oh my God, I wish you could smell the wine moisture-laden air that is in here. Bowls. I know we got nice bowls in here somewhere. By the way, did you hear that? You know when I'm driving down the road, that's pretty much all you hear inside this bus. But we do have nice bowls. I am calling this as done, and oh, this really isn't gonna go well, is it? And then, if one of you guys could do me a favor, could you go get Nikki and tell her that dinner's going to be ready in just a minute? Let's get the shrimp cooking since Nikki is on the way. What do I need? I need a little bit of salt, or a lot of salt, as the case may be. Hey, baby, you hungry?
Oh, yes?
You feel like cooking on camera?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, shrimp will be done in 3 minutes, and then we can convert this entire thing into the dining area. Whoops, I think I'm burning my pan. You're still here over on that camera. All right, what was I saying? We need, can I put some cayenne pepper in this?
No cayenne. Okay.
Yeah, I've already told them that you and cayenne pepper do not get along. Well, Cajun seasoning is always... Whoa, that was healthy. And... Oh, son of a... Ah! I got a problem, babe. Can you hand me the... over there? That, unfortunately, was my vodka tonic. And yeah, it's a crisis. And no, that wasn't staged for the camera. All right. Where you going, baby?
I'm going back.
She's going back. She's going to leave you and I here for a while.
Yeah.
All right. What am I doing? I am mixing. We are going to... These are... God, it's so steamy in here. I can't even see the camera over there. These are Walmart's finest extra large shrimp. Hang on a second. Is that the right button? There it is. I got the right button. Living life in a bus. This is actually one of our favorite dishes. Normally, it's a lot easier to cook. I've never actually made this on... Let me turn this off so I can actually talk to you. I've never actually made this on camera before. It's normally really, really quick. Ah, I forgot the damn chives. Normally, I'll find something. I'll put something on here. This thing does not take any time at all. And I think they're done. The worst crime known to man is overcooking shrimp. All right, let's plate it. Parsley. Nikki reorganized the spice rack. So parsley. I know we got parsley, rosemary, basil. Parsley, just for a little hint of green. So while we're doing Spanish wine and Cajun shrimp, we'll pretend like we're Irish as well. And that, my friends, is Cajun shrimp and grits. If I tilt it over anymore, you're going to be wearing it. All right, now I got to go get Nikki again, because this stuff's going to get cold. I got Nikki. She ran to the shrimp before me. I feel bad. My daughter's in there. She has an ear infection, 2 babies, and, well, we need to get back. We're going to eat quickly and then go back and help her. Spoon. Is it really that cold?
I'm cold. It's my ears mostly.
The moment of truth.
Mmm.
Mmm. Mmm. Not bad. So there you go. Shrimp and grits in a bus. And a cold, rainy night. And you'll forgive me, but I want to eat. And I can't be talking to you at the same time. Now, mostly what we do at night is we layer up on the blankets. Nikki even has an electric blanket, which she likes to share with me, don't you? Yeah, well, yeah, you see how that goes. But honestly, with all the layers, and this is me speaking because I don't think she actually agrees with this part, with the layers of blanket on top of me and a nice little hat, I'm kind of toasty. The bad part is when you get up in the middle of the night to, well, you know what, that could be a little chilly. And I do have a morning routine, which is also kind of miserable. So here's the way that works. I get up first, and it's really freezing. You can see your breath and your nipples are erect. And I walk out here, and I make the coffee, and I turn on the heater while Nikki sits in her little cocoon and waits for it to warm up. I'm just kidding. But honestly, most mornings like this morning, it does get a little nippy. And yeah, when I wear my socks with the holes in it and come paddling out here waiting for the world to warm up, it's not exactly pleasant. Bus life is, well, bus life can be a little different. So, is all of this worth it? The temperature struggles, the fighting for cold, the fighting for warmth? Yeah, it actually kind of is, because unlike a lot of you, I have the luxury of simply releasing the parking brake and driving to where the temperatures are a little more, well, what we want. Which brings us to the fun question of, oh my God, it's starting to rain again. The big question of what is next for us. Honestly, we don't know. We're going to hang around here for Thanksgiving, enjoy the family a little more, but like this time last year, it is just getting a little too cold for us. So I don't know, we might go head south. We're been trying to find this hippie little encampment down in Florida, but so far we can't seem to remember what emails file we put that into. We may head west, go into California and visit her family. It's kind of nice out there as well. Of course, we'd scoot down the bottom of the country where the sun is actually shining. I don't know what's going on, but I guess that's for another video. Thanks for watching. Say a line with me?
A line.
A line. Welcome to Bus Life.